showtime. Woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Silent and profiling. Woo, It's live and in color. Woo! Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy, and we have breaking news on this Wednesday morning. Stefon Diggs traded to the Houston Texans. Yes, you heard it right here. You heard it right here.
What did you say?
Oh, I said it. And yeah. Am I shocked? A little. I mean, a little. I'm not going to lie, because of the contract. I'm very curious how the contract plays out. Like, what kind of hit are we going to take in Buffalo for trading Stefon Diggs? But I got to say, I've been telling y'all that Stefon Diggs hasn't been happy since the end of the 2022 season. And really, if we're going to be honest here, since the end of 2021. Like, let's be real, guys. Stefon Diggs, he gave everything he got when he went on the field. But the love and the passion for playing for the Buffalo Bills ended at the end of the 2021 season, in my opinion. That was it for Stefon Diggs. After that, he just came to work. The love that he had for Josh Allen and, you know, and passion for playing next to him, I felt went away as well. I don't think they have any beef. I don't think they hate each other. But I just feel like Stefon Diggs and, you know, the Buffalo Bills in general, just the head coach, Sean McDermott, all the way up to Brandon Beane, I think that relationship went sour 2 seasons ago. Let me get some of your comments. Juicy, wow, what's next? Well, what's next is the Buffalo Bills are going to draft a receiver very early in the NFL draft, and I expect them to trade up, you know, for that. They just received a 2nd-round pick. That's what they got for the Texans. Only a 2nd-round pick. I got to say, look, it's not terrible. You got to look at around the league and what players are getting traded for. 4th round, 5th round, 6th round. Some of these are star players going for little to nothing. So 2nd round isn't the worst. I got to be honest with you guys. I get it. I know where you guys are coming from. But Stefon Diggs also isn't this young receiver that we just drafted. You know what I mean? His window's closing. I'm just being honest with you. And really, what has he done in the playoffs for this team? And look, I love the guy. The guy was phenomenal here. Awesome. But let's be real. If we're going to all be real here, Stefon Diggs was a no-show when the playoffs came around. Now, that may not all be his fault. It could be because teams took it away. They doubled, whatever they had to do. But if you're a star receiver, top 5 receiver, which he was at one point, he's not a top 5 anymore. You're gonna get yours, right? And especially in big games. And I just feel like he never showed up in the biggest moments, and that would be in the playoffs when we need him the most. But I'm not knocking the guy. The guy is a phenomenal player. Was our best receiver in a long time. I still say Eric Moulds, in my opinion, is the 2nd best receiver we ever had on this team. I don't care what Stefon Diggs did here. I don't care what, you know, how many seasons he got 1,000 yards. Go look at Eric Moulds. Eric Moulds never played with a quarterback like Josh Allen. Matter of fact, he had like 7 starting quarterbacks and still got 10,000 yards, almost 10. I think he got a little over 9,000 with Buffalo. That's impressive. He didn't cry. He stayed on this team for 10 seasons, 5 different head coaches. So you all can say what you want. But I think Eric Moulds is a better receiver, in my opinion, than Stefon Diggs was in Buffalo. Now, hey, Stefon Diggs was here since we got him in 2020. So he was here a while, right? What, 4 seasons? 2020 season, 2021, 2022, 2023. So yeah, 4 seasons in Buffalo, 1,000 yards each season. Awesome, man. Thank you. But your time was up. You know, the truth of the matter is, guys, he was starting to become a distraction. And I know some of y'all were like, oh, who cares? Who gives a fuck? You know, he's just doing his thing on Twitter, and you don't always read between the lines. Well, guess fucking what? You better read between those lines, because it happened. It happened. He is gone because he wanted to be gone. He wasn't happy. You don't think Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, rest of the coaching staff were sick and tired of the bullshit all season, having to deal with that crap? It's not good for the team. It's not. I know some of you are like, oh, who cares? Like, clearly it mattered. They got rid of him, and they're going to eat some money. Drama queen is gone. Yeah, look. He wasn't like, go back in time. Go back in time in 2020 when we first got him. Go back, guys. I promise you. He had a different attitude about this team, about Josh Allen. He spoke up. He loved the team. They're taking pictures together, doing Sports Illustrated, photos, magazines. He had nothing but great things to say. But as the seasons went on, everything changed. Right? He didn't take losing too well in the playoffs. But man, hey, whoa, bro, where were you? Where were you? What happened last year when you had the opportunity to make an unbelievable catch? By the way, it wouldn't even been an unbelievable catch. It was right fucking there. It was an unbelievable throw. You had the opportunity to catch that ball to get us a win finally over KC, and you didn't. You dropped it. And you know what? You didn't give a fuck. You didn't act like you did. You didn't say afterwards, man, I really cost my team. Like, you didn't show any emotions. And I'm telling you guys, it was over. It's been over. It was just, how do we move on from Stefon Diggs now? That's the truth. We were locked up. And that's why me and Mikey kept saying, we don't think it's going to happen, because the Bills are going to have to eat all that money. But they couldn't take it no more. Stefon Diggs forced Brandon Beane's hand. Let's be real here. He forced his hand. You cannot go season after season with this guy in the offseason with his cryptic tweets and how he wants to leave. Okay, now you're gone. Houston, have fun with him. That's all I can say. He's going to be good. And listen, by the way, if you're a Texas fan in here right now, I'm not knocking Diggs, what he does on the field. What Diggs does on the field in the regular season is damn good. Top 10 receiver. No doubt about it. But this Diggs right here is what you're going to get after a few seasons if you don't produce in the playoffs. And what you're going to get out of Stefon Diggs in the playoffs, good luck. I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going to be pretty. Maybe a new scenery. I don't know. Second round pick. Hey, listen, Connor, it's not bad. I got to be honest with you. Go around, look at the trades that are being made around the NFL. Third round, fourth round picks for really good players. Fifth round, sixth round. I'll take a second round pick. I will. I don't think it's that bad. I know a lot of you guys, he's not a first round. I'm sorry. He's not. I wanted to give up a first round for an aging receiver. Let's be real. Stefon Diggs still has it, no doubt. But he is aging. He is aging. And we are way better going through the NFL draft, using all these fucking picks that we have now, and trading up and getting a fucking top 10 receiver. That's what we need. I really hope Brandon Beane understands that he needs to trade up in this draft. There's a ton of talent. You better now. You got to make up for it now. That's the truth. Better make up for it. So, guys, I mean, what can I tell you? This writing was on the wall. It was just, how was Brandon Beane going to pull it off? And, man, I'm very curious about the cap numbers, what we're eating. Connor, the only thing I see out of this is there is no doubt we will get a receiver in the draft, and when we move up to get our guy. Yeah, listen, guys, I believe the same thing. I do. I think we're gonna move on up in this draft. Let me give me 1 second. So I like to play a little background here. So I have a little something going on. It's so quiet in here. Usually I have my co-host, but my co-host is at work, so can't have him today. And then Mafia Talk, my buddy over there, Jay, is at work as well. So I'm solo, but I had to come on. I had to come on and talk to you guys because it's breaking news. This is crazy. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I mean, I knew it had to happen at some point that we needed to cut Diggs maybe next year when we weren't taking such a big hit. But I didn't see this coming. I like I said, I mean, am I shocked? Yeah, but in a way, like I said before, the writing was on the wall when it comes to Stefon Diggs. He is the only, listen, right now, he's the only player that we have on this team that just kind of shits on the team in the offseason. Let's be real. He's the only player we got right now that's just like, whatever. I guess I'll play for the Bills. What choice do I got? It's like everyone else, all the other players like, oh man, I love the Bills Mafia. Of course I want to be here. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Stefon Diggs? I mean, what choice do I got? Right? It's like, it's just unbelievable. It's like us, right? Gotta go to work. You're not so crazy about your job. You know what I mean? You wish you'd go somewhere, but it pays the bills. I gotta go. Right? He clearly was not happy. Hasn't been happy in a while. And it is. Listen, it is what it is. He forced Brandon Beane's hand. If we move up, we just replaced Diggs. Still no number 2. That's not true. So listen, here it is, Steve. I honestly think that Crowder. Not Crowder. I'm sorry. Fuck, man. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank here. The guy we just got, the Buffalo Bills just picked up, and I cannot believe that I'm drawing a blank. Somebody help me here, because my mind is swirling here from the what just happened. Hold on. Curtis Samuel, guy. What? Guys, my mind is like just all over the map right now. So Curtis Samuel is going to be a good number 2, in my opinion. Now, is he like 1,000-yard receiver number 2? Maybe not. But we had to move on, guys. And they're going to draft. They're probably going to move up and draft a player, a receiver. I mean, and that receiver is going to be, obviously, they're hoping, the number 1. So I get where you're going with this, but you got to remember, there's a lot of receivers in this draft. You had to start over, man. Sean is the problem. I'm not a fan of McDermott. Okay. Curtis Samuel, thank you, Elvis. I'm not a fan of Sean McDermott. You all know that. I think he's a good coach. I think he came at the right time when this team needed a guy to get this team out of the hole. But I think he's done all he can. Like I think he reached the ceiling. I mean, at least that's how I see it. Put it this way. He's a coach who's going to get you in the playoffs. He's going to every season probably, right? Like, he's a good coach. I just don't know if he's great enough to get the job done and win it. And that's Super Bowl, right? Like, if you guys are happy with just good, then yeah, he's your guy. Like, no doubt about it. Sean McDermott is the guy. But if you want better than good, I just don't see it. And I don't know if that's the reason why Stefon Diggs left or wanted to be gone from Buffalo, but I do believe that they had friction there. There was friction there, no doubt about it. And then obviously boiled over in the offseason last year when the whole camp thing came up. Stefon Diggs showed up, and then they had the meeting, and they got in a little argument. He sent Stefon Diggs home, and then he went and talked to reporters right after, when Sean McDermott probably shouldn't have done that. He probably should have cooled off and said, okay, here's what I'm going to say, right? And he didn't. He went and he met with reporters. He was heated, and he said, oh, no, man, Stefon Diggs didn't show up. but he did. So, of course, Stefon Diggs takes that as like, oh, now my coach is lying about me. That's not what went down. So, of course, there was friction already. And then, of course, Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, they had to clean that shit up before the regular season started in 2023. Y'all know that. And what was it? It was just kind of like, okay, like Stefon Diggs came ahead, talked to reporters, like a month later or whatever. And he was just like, I don't know if he really cleared it up. He was just like, yeah, I'm in Buffalo. I'm going to play this season. Like, he didn't really just say, man, Josh is my boy. Me and Sean are cool. Love Ken Dort. Like, he didn't say any of that. He kind of just was like, hey, I'm here to play. I'm going to give it my best. It's like, oh, man. Really not what you want to hear from your star receiver, right? Like, I don't know. I don't get why we had to give up picks plus Diggs for a second round pick. Yeah, we don't know the full details yet. They might have ate some of the contract. I don't know. Like, I'm very curious because right now there's not a lot out on like everything, right? Like, so let's wait until everything, shows up, like what the Texans had to eat, like take on. If we still have to eat the 30 on the cap, like very curious. So they may have taken something of that. I don't know. We'll see. But listen, man, I'll be honest. Like I told you guys earlier, second round pick is not terrible. I know you guys feel like he's a first round. We should have got a first round. I don't think so. I want to give up. Would you put it this way, guys? Be real. Would you give up if you're an NFL team, an NFL GM right now, and you're looking at Stefon Diggs and what he's done in Buffalo? You're going, oh, damn, this dude is a damn good receiver, Stefon Diggs. But you're also looking at the negative. You got to. Just like when you draft a player. Okay, well, shit, man. Stefon Diggs has now been on two teams, Minnesota, Buffalo, where things got rocky after, year two. It started going downhill. And, off-season shit, when he's talking shit about the team, not happy with it. Do I want to take on a player like that and give up a early, second round pick? I don't know. So, of course, GMs are going to look at that. So, second round, I'll take it. Because I wouldn't take on that. Not for a second round. I'm sorry. I can't. There's one less playmaker. Curtis Samuel's not a legit. I didn't say he's a legit number 2, Steven. I think Curtis Samuel is a pretty damn good receiver. He's also hasn't been on a team with a really good quarterback like Josh Allen. So you don't know what Curtis Samuel can bring to this team in this offense. So let's pump the brakes a little bit there before you're saying he's not a legit number 2. Now, see, like, put it this way. I think he's going to be a little bit more dynamic than Gabe Davis because of everything he provides with running the ball, receiving. Shit, you could put him in special teams like kick returns. He won't do that. But I think Curtis Samuel is more like a Swiss Army knife than Gabe Davis is really, one thing, right? Like, he was our deep threat. But him and Josh started not getting that connection. We'll see. I definitely can see about the same amount of yards as Gabe Davis. I thought Gabe Davis was borderline number 2. I know a lot of you guys disagree, but the guy got almost 900 yards the last 2 seasons. It's not terrible. Is he fucking T. Higgins? No. I mean, but how many football teams have like the stud number 2 receiver? It's not a lot. Not a lot going out there. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not saying there isn't, but it's not easy getting 2 unbelievable receivers. By the way, and I'll say it again, the Buffalo Bills haven't had 2 receivers hit 1,000 yards in the season since Eric Moulds and Peerless Price did it way back in what was that? Not 1990. Was that 2002? The 2002 season when they had Drew Bledsoe. They each had, I think Moulds had 1,200, something like that, 1,400, and then Price had 1,200, something like that. But they won't have to win over 1,000. But we haven't had that since. So, listen, the Bills are going to draft receiver. They're going to draft receiver. So, like I said, Shaffer was just on TV and said, we're eating all the money. Okay. Texas aren't. Well, then, listen, what does that tell you then? Diggs forced his way out of here, and the Bills and Brandon Beane weren't going to put up with his bullshit anymore. Like, listen, man, if you're the GM, I know he was in a tough spot. And a lot of you guys are going to say, well, Brandon Beane put himself in. Stefon Diggs was an unbelievable receiver. He was. Of course you're going to give him the extension. Of course you're going to redo his contract. Not thinking, though, that Stefon Diggs is going to act the way he acted when you did it. You're trying to make your star receiver happy, right? And remember, that's what Stefon Diggs wanted. And us as Bills Mafia, don't lie, we all were good for it. Yes, give him the extension. Yes, give him the restructure. Give him the better contract. We want Stefon Diggs here. And we gave him that. We gave Stefon Diggs what he wanted. And I'm not blaming Brandon Beane for that. Stefon Diggs was an unbelievable talent. But at the same time, and maybe he didn't show his true colors there, Brandon Beane, I'm sure, was hoping or not thinking that any of this would have happened. That Stefon Diggs would act a fool in the offseason and just act like he wants out of Buffalo for the last 2 seasons after you just paid the guy. It's weird. But he forced his hand. What can you do, man? Have him on the team. A guy that doesn't want to be here. I told you guys, man, it's like I expect Stefon Diggs, like before this trade happened, obviously. And I've been telling you guys this. He's going to show up on game day. No doubt. Because that's what he does. He loves football. But the passion and love for the Buffalo Bills is not there. It's gone. So how much does he care? How much does he really want to go that extra mile for the Buffalo Bills? You know what I mean? Like, that was my fear when it came to Stefon Diggs, because clearly he didn't like it here anymore. Clearly he wanted out, but he knew it was nearly impossible because he knew the Buffalo Bills would have to eat that contract. But I don't know, man. Go on another season with a disgruntled player, and when things aren't going right, let's just say hypothetically, guys, that this season started off not so great. Again, like last year. Let's say it's just like last year all over again, where we run into a little rut, right? And now you got Stefon Diggs again, right? On the sideline. By the way, the sideline shit last year was almost just as bad, pretty much just as bad as the year before, right? Throwing his hands up, throwing temper tantrums. You didn't see that from Stefon Diggs the first 2 seasons when he was here in Buffalo, 2020, 2021, even 2022, really. Not so bad, right? He started to at the end. You saw that Stefon Diggs at the end of 2022, towards the end of the season, start to, right? I think it was that Lions game, if I'm not mistaken, where he was starting to show that side of him that everyone was warning the Buffalo Bills of when he left Minnesota. I don't know, man, guys. I currently don't scream. Listen, he didn't want to be here. You guys right now, y'all shouldn't be upset. He didn't want to be a Buffalo Bill. You want a player playing for your team that doesn't want to be here? I mean, honestly, do you want a player just going, I don't give a fuck about this fucking team. I got to be here anyway. Like, get the fuck go then. You know what? Fuck it. I'll eat the fucking money then. Yeah. Like, it's not good. It's not good for the locker room. Clearly, him and Josh they're not boys. They may respect each other, but that ship has sailed long ago, guys. They have no communication out of football like they did in the past. None. Zero. Right? I told you guys like a couple months ago when Stefon Diggs was interviewed and they asked Stefon Diggs about Josh Allen or whatever and the Buffalo Bills. I think it was Josh Allen a question or whatever. And he was like, he couldn't even, all he could say is, yeah, you know, I'm not going to answer it anymore. Like, how hard is it to say, nah, man, look, I know, I am tired of this question, but me and Josh are cool, man. That's my boy. That's my dog. Josh Allen has asked the same shit about Stefon Diggs. It's Josh Allen says the right things, even though it may not be true, but at least he acts like he cared. No, Stefon Diggs is my guy. I always have his back, right? That's what leaders do. Stefon Diggs never did that. Never. He did that in the beginning. He did that in 2021, 2020, 2021, right? Loved him. But that shit, like I said, that ship has sailed. That love for the Buffalo Bills, that love for Josh Allen, for his teammates, that shit was long gone. He wanted nothing to do with the Buffalo Bills once we ended the season. Think about it. That's twice now in 2 years that the Buffalo Bills lost the playoffs and Stefon Diggs got the fuck out of the locker room. Did not want to hang out with the team. Matter of fact, what was it in was it the 2022 season? End of that when Murray, actually 2023, Murray had to go back and get, 2023. He had to go back and tell Stefon Diggs to get back in the locker room because Stefon Diggs was getting out of there. I mean, like before the team even wrapped up, talked, or whatever, he didn't want to hang out with the team. Nothing. The rest of the team takes the heat. Rest of the team talks to reporters. Stefon Diggs, I'm out of here. See you later. Peace out. Fuck y'all. See you next season. True Fan 78. If the reports are right, the Bills are eating Diggs. Yeah, it's probably going to happen. It's going to be a $30 million cap. Listen, what do you want? I keep telling you, listen, man, what could the Bills have done? Keep him around, a guy that doesn't want to be in Buffalo, a guy that's disgruntled. It's going to happen. Around the league, by the way, there's teams that take hits on players all the time. You act like Buffalo's the only team that's ever done this. For a disgruntled player, a player traded a player, took the hit, cut a player, took the hit. Sometimes you got it. It sucks. Guys, I'm not happy about it. Of course I'm not. That really puts us on. That does not help the cap. I get that. But I also, you know what? I don't want a guy on my team that doesn't want to be here. That I gotta fucking hear about, every day, almost every day about, whoa, Stefon Diggs wants out of Buffalo. Whoa, Stefon Diggs and his brother tweeted out that it's Josh Allen's the problem. Like, dude, I got so fed up with that shit. I stopped even talking about it on his channel because I just got fed up with it. It's crazy. I don't want a guy like that on the team. According to whoever that is, the Buffalo News, Diggs counts 3.24 more in the cap this year, but 20. Yeah, that's correct. 30. I told you, about 30 million we're going to eat next year. So, but by the way, the cap's going to go up next year, helping out an already improved cap. Yeah. So listen, I'm not too. It sucks. We're going to have to eat 30 in total, but it is what it is. Good. Listen. Good luck in Houston. I will say this. I don't hate Stefon Diggs. I think Stefon Diggs was really, really good here. He put up good numbers, but the last 2 seasons with Stefon Diggs was a nightmare as far as just wanting to like the guy, wanting to, speak highly about him, like character-wise, right? Like he just, I don't know, guys. Like he just didn't want to be here, and he made it crystal clear, cryptic or not. For me, it spoke volumes. Like for me, if you're happy, you're not going on there talking about, thumbs up to a tweet from your brother saying you want to go to Dallas or some bullshit. Like why? Who does that? Scott Polickly, walking on eggshells is not a team of continuity. Glad it's over. What did we get? Second round. And Scott, we got a second round pick. You know what? I'm good with it. Because if I'm a GM, man, that's a risky move. That is a risky move. Guys, he's still good. Very good. I think he's still top 10. But how long? How long will you be considered in the top 10? Because he's aging, 1. And 2, you got to worry about, what if this guy does this again on my team? He's done it twice now. Minnesota and Buffalo. In Buffalo, what? Like, you're playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I get the Minnesota, fine. Vikings, fine. Okay. Now, you're not happy with the quarterback. Your team's not really going anywhere, right? You haven't really gone anywhere. I get it. Okay, fine. I'll accept that. Okay. But what happened here? You got in the playoffs every single season. You got to the AFC Championship one year. And you didn't produce anything in the playoffs. So you should be really mad at yourself more than the Buffalo Bills. Where were you? Where were you last year when you dropped a perfect pass and could care less? You didn't talk about it after. You didn't express any emotion that you fuck up. Like most receivers or most players, just in general, who make a fuck up on a play like that, show emotion, right? Like, man, like, talk to reporters after. They show that emotion. Like, I really cost my team, man. Like they care. Like, they give a shit. Stefon Diggs, when asked about that, was like, yeah, I dropped it. I mean, like, what? Like, dude, no emotion. Could give a fuck that he dropped it. But everything else, though, was Josh's fault, was the coordinator's fault. That he has no problem talking. That he has no problem showing his emotion. Right? Oh. Oh, man. My God. Yeah, the outfits. Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, man. Yeah, I am surprised. I'm not going to lie. I did not see this coming. But the writing was on the wall that he wanted out of Buffalo. I mean, the writing was on the wall. And a lot of you guys, not me, a lot of you guys were like, oh, you can't read between. He's just trolling people on Twitter. No, really? You think he's trolling people on Twitter over the last few seasons? You know why I know he wasn't? Because of his actions on the field. Because of what he did over the last 2 seasons for this team. Right? Leaving right away after playoff losses. 2 seasons in a row where he's just constantly, saying he wants out, basically. The fight between him and Sean McDermott in the offseason, this past offseason, in 2023, in the beginning of the 2023 season, he wanted out, man. He was forcing his hand. He just knew it was going to be a long shot for that to happen because of the contract. Put it this way. If it wasn't for that contract, that deal would have been done. Stefon Diggs, Brandon Beane probably would have got rid of him a while ago. Think about everyone that's on this team right now. They love Brandon Beane. They love Josh Allen. Nothing but high praise, man. Now, Sean McDermott, I mean, I'm sure the players back him up. But I think the players back up more. They back more of Brandon Beane and Josh Allen, right? Like, they're the 2 guys in Buffalo that the players absolutely adore and love. And I never heard that from Stefon Diggs over the last 2 seasons. He could give a fuck about Brandon Beane. He could give a fuck about Josh Allen or anyone else that played on this team. While everyone else is loving Buffalo, not Stefon Diggs, boy. He wanted the fuck out. Wanted out. I guess the odds of wide receiver round 1 is 210%. Absolutely. We have a ton of picks. There's no reason why Brandon Beane can't trade up in this draft. Bro, I fucking trade up multiple times. I don't give a fuck. Get the players you want. Go grab them. If you got to fucking trade multiple picks to get up in the top 10, do it. I don't think any of us will be hating that if we get the right guy. None of us. I'm totally fine with that. We did it when we wanted Josh Allen. We did it when we wanted Tremaine Edmonds. Think about it. Go back to that draft. Right? Brandon Beane was like, I got to get my guy. And I'm going to give up whatever it takes to get my guy. And I'm going to double down on that And I'm going to go get Tremaine Edmonds. I'm going to trade some more and get back in the first round. Fuck it. I'm not even done yet. That's the Brandon Beane we need in this draft. Hey, I don't give a fuck. Like, all out Brandon Beane. I'm going all out because we need it right now. You got rid of your top guy. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. But you better make a top move. you better do something in this draft. The Angry Buffalo sports fan. Remember when we excited to get Diggs? Now we were excited to get rid of him. Listen, I don't know if I'm excited, but it had to be done. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not excited because I don't know what we're getting in the draft. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we do need, like, somebody made it a great we do need to replace him. Like, that has to be done. You can't go into the season with, a second round receiver. You get what I mean? And Curtis Samuel, like, then we're on shaky grounds. But you go and get your guy in the draft, your receiver in the draft early. Trade up to get him. I'm fucking fine with it. I'm really good with this trade. I'm totally fine. Second round. Yeah, I'm good with listen, you could trade that 2025 second round. You could. We have a ton of picks, guys. Don't forget about the picks we have coming next year as well, the compensatory picks that we have. I think a 4th and a 5th, something like that, or 5th and a 6th. We have a ton of picks, guys. That's a lot of ammunition for Brandon Beane to work with. It's the next, but that's fine. You could, guys, you could trade picks for the following year. We can use that as trade bait. Of course you can. Teams do that all the time, guys. So I'm good with the second round. I'm totally fine with it. If I'm a GM, I would not give up a second round for Stefon Diggs. I'm sorry. I won't, because, guys, he has to fucking get a contract over there too. Right? They're going to eat a lot of money. They're probably going to extend them. Who knows? I'm just saying, he's an aging receiver with an attitude problem. That if things don't go his way, he wants to fuck out after you paid him. Right? Fuck that, dude. Like, I'm like, no, man, I'm good with that. Texans will get Diggs along with a 2024 6th round and 2025 5th round, while the Bills will receive a second round through Minnesota. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Guys, I'm telling you, that's a risky move. That's a risky move for Houston. Absolutely. You don't no idea what you're going to get out of Stefon Diggs. If he's unhappy, he's going to make your team miserable, man. He's going to do the same shit. I didn't want to believe it. When he left Minnesota, Minnesota fans were like, wait, just wait. And 2020 went smooth. And I remember being like, oh, Minnesota, you guys are idiots. You don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it was you guys. Maybe it was your fucking team. They were right. I apologize, Minnesota Vikings fans. You are absolutely correct. His character is not good as far as like team wise. Like, he's not a team guy. He's not. He's a me guy. And I get it. A lot of receivers are like divas and all that stuff. But if things don't go his way, boy, he pouts. Boy, he make a scene. And it only gets worse. And you guys think that, honestly, it would have gotten any better going into the 2024 season, especially if things weren't going right? Hell no. Brian Thomas, I'll take it. Guys, we're due. We're due for a younger receiver. Thank you. I'm good with it too. Absolutely, I'm good with it. I think you want to be honest, I think it's more riskier for the Texans to take on this trade. Yeah, we eat the 30, but that's a risky move for the Texans because they're going to probably extend him. They're going to give him a contract. Risky if it doesn't. With a young quarterback, by the way, who's going to make mistakes. Okay. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Young head coach, young quarterback. All right. Let's see what you get. And I wish him no ill will. Listen, I hope he balls out there. I honestly, go ahead. But we'll see after year 2, year 3, how that relationship's working out with him and the Texans. Should have traded him NFC team of the back. You know what, man? We're lucky we got a second round. How many? Honestly, I guarantee there wasn't many teams willing to give us a second round for Stefon Diggs. I'm being honest with you. Sour apples can ruin a team. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And like I said, I'm not excited that he left, but I'm good with it. I'm good with it because I've been saying for the last 2 seasons that Stefon Diggs and this team are just miles apart. Like that love, passion, it was gone a while ago for Stefon Diggs, the Buffalo Bills. And do you really want a guy on your team that doesn't give a fuck anymore about your player, about your his quarterback, about his coach, about anything that has to do with Buffalo? He just he's going to do what he has to do on the football field, but then he's fucking out of there. Things don't work out. Oh, fucking well. And then every offseason you got to deal with, the bullshit cryptic tweets that he does. And now you got to come and answer to why Stefon Diggs, it's thumbs up, wanting to be traded or saying, oh, whatever happens, I'm good with it. Like, no, Josh Allen has to answer, right? Are you Stefon? Oh my God. Like, why? What does Stefon Diggs say now? This is like, dude, man, just go on, man. To get the hell out of here. You don't like it, go. We'll take the hit. I mean, ultimately, that's what happened. Yo, my boy Jay, man. Jay would have came on, but he is at work. So it's all good, man. Mafia Talk, what's going on? By the way, you can find them here on Wednesdays. I believe he'll be on tonight, maybe for like 10 minutes. He has some kind of event going on in Buffalo that he wants to tell you guys about. So I think he's coming on for a little bit to tell you about the event. If not, he'll be back the following Wednesday at 10 p.m. So great show here on the Mafia Sports Report. Mafia Talk, Jay with Big Cuz. You don't want to miss that. But yeah, hit that like, hit that, subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. We're trying to do good things here, big things here. But yeah, Snow Turd 518, number 1 in first round, Shakir, Kincaid, Samuel, Cook, and Allen. We good? Yeah, I'm fine with that. But you gotta get your number 1. You gotta trade up. You gotta do whatever the fuck it takes to get that top. I would say, I said top 10. What am I going to talk about? Top 5 receiver coming out of the draft this year. You better do it now. Listen, I'm sure Brandon Beane understands that, especially after making this trade. Like, I thought we were going to trade. I thought we were going to draft a receiver in the first round anyways. I really felt like we were. But now, guys, not only do I think we're going to draft a receiver in the first round, I think we're going to go up, trade to get higher in the draft. I think we're going to trade up to get even a better one now at this point. Like, you have to at this point, right? Like, you can't go in there. Okay, buddy. Are you going live? Sorry, guys. Are you going live for the, the complete show or just a quick show? Because if you are, I gotta schedule and everything for you, bud. I didn't do any of that. What did Buffalo get in the trade? They got a 2nd round draft pick, which, Philip, I'll take it, man. I don't think a lot of teams were going to give the Buffalo Bills a 2nd round draft pick. I really, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't have given up a 2nd round draft pick for Stefon Diggs. 1, because of everything that you have to deal with, character wise. Okay. And 2, he is an aging receiver. And 3, now you got to pay him. And what are you going to get out of when you get into the playoffs? Like, he has not shown anything in the playoffs for this team. Like, I'm not knocking the guy. I think the guy's done a great job in Buffalo. He was one of our best receivers here in Buffalo. But playoffs-wise, he was a no-show, man. No-show. And he was a top guy. He just did not make any plays. So, love what he did here. Appreciate it. He was our number 1 dude for the past 4 seasons in Buffalo. But we couldn't deal with that player anymore, his character anymore. And I don't think it wasn't so crazy where he was doing illegal things or bad things or whatever. It was more so, him not pretty much expressing to everyone that he just didn't like Buffalo and he didn't want to play here. But hey, I got it. And you don't want a guy like that on your team. You don't, especially when everybody's on board to win a Super Bowl. Like, everybody in that locker room, right, is still like, it's still like a family, right? Like, it's a family of guys. Like, you could see it, right? Deion Dawkins, like Josh Allen, all these guys have one goal in my Super Bowl. They They love each other. You know what I mean? Like, they got that love for the Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott and the head coach, the offensive coaches, everybody. But I just feel like Stefon Diggs distanced himself from that group, and he was just the guy in the corner bringing his lunchbox and be like, what do you want me to do? Right? Like, he turned into a me guy, right? Like, instead of a team guy. And I felt like the first two seasons, I would say first two seasons, 2020, 2021, and I would say even 2022, like almost to the, until the end, he was a team guy. Like, he really was. Go back and look, man. Like, bro, him and Josh on the sideline, just kicking and having fun. That fun went away. That fun, that relationship after scoring touchdowns, that sideline, like, it just wasn't there anymore. You guys saw it. I mean, come on, you can't be blind to that fact. Like I said, man, I think it left him after the 2022 season. It's the best. It's the best. I think it had to be done, man. Will Bills Mafia the first round of the draft? Will Bills Mafia watch first round of the draft? You better. Yeah. By the way, I'm going to the draft night one because I live in Detroit. I already got my ticket. I'm hoping that I get better seats because where I work at a bar, we're like one of the best bars in Michigan. They usually give him really, really good seats wherever. So he's trying to see if we can get up closest to, where the players come out. The players come out when they get drafted. So I'll see you. That's not for sure, but for sure I'm going. So I'll be streaming from there for as best I can. Who won the trade? I don't know if there's no clear winner. Juicy. I think Houston fans will think they won the trade. They got themselves a hell of, and they did. They got a really good player, but at the same time, they got themselves a diva, a headache. If things don't go right, it's the NFL. Things always don't go smooth, and I just think Stefon Diggs can't handle that. And we got a second round draft pick. I think that's the best we were going to get. I don't think many teams were going to offer that, I'll be honest with you. But I think it's even. I think Houston Texans fans will probably think they won the trade. But I think we got rid of, a cancer in the locker room, and just we had to move on. Time to get younger anyways at that position. It's time to draft your next receiver. Think about it, guys. Like hypothetically, if we didn't trade for Stefon Diggs from Minnesota and drafted Justin Jefferson, just saying. Think about it. Would you all, if we could go back in time, okay, and I know we can't. You can't turn back the hands of time. But would you do that trade today? Fuck no. And then listen, I'm not saying that Justin Jefferson won't wind up being a problem in Minnesota or is turning into a diva. Like, they all eventually do. All the top receivers, it's been like that since the fucking 90s, right? But you also got a younger receiver. You would have had him on a rookie deal for a while. You would have had him a lot longer than Stefon Diggs, put it that way. Right? So if I can go back in the hands of time, I'm not doing that trade. And I'm drafting Justin Jefferson all day, every day. Philip, damn, I guess that's a premium pick. Wish you could have gotten an additional pick this year, but Bills have 10 picks, like you said. Absolutely. So, and you could use that pick for next year, that second round, and use it as trade bait. You can, absolutely. And I would. If that's what it takes to move up in the first round, do it. I don't give a fuck. Try to get yourself as far up on the draft board as possible to land a top 5 receiver. Whatever it takes. I don't give a fuck. Because if that player is what makes a difference, a big difference, then it's well worth it. You guys aren't going to be crying about some fucking second round pick in 2025. Who cares? Who cares? As long as you got your guy. Nobody's sitting here crying today about the draft picks we lost when we drafted Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds. And you say what you want about Edmonds, but he was a damn good player. We just couldn't afford him, right, when his rookie deal was done. And I understand, like, Josh Allen was the guy you wanted to pay. He's your leader. He's your quarterback. But nobody's sitting here complaining about draft picks that we didn't have because we got rid, because we traded up to get Josh Allen. Nobody, okay? And I'm telling you right now, if you go and get your receiver you want, like a Brian Thomas, and he produces like he should, nobody here will be giving a flying fuck about a second round pick or a third round, whatever the fuck we got to give up to move up in that draft. Nobody. I promise you. And matter of fact, nobody was really mad about the Stefon Diggs trade initially when we traded our first to Minnesota. Now, in hindsight now, of course, we're looking back going, okay, he gave us 4 years, 1,000 yards each. So I obviously now, because of the character thing and the way it ended, now I can say, no, I wish we would have not done that and drafted a Justin Jefferson. But who's to say we would have drafted Justin Jefferson too? You never know. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Mafia talk. Yeah, and even when he was getting over 100 yards in multiple games, we were losing. We have proved that we can win without him, but we already lost Gabe and now Diggs. It'll be rough, but in Bean we trust. I listen, Curtis Samuel is a hell of a player. I think he's had I think he's been on teams that's had, you know, not very good quarterbacks. And I think he's going to a team with an unbelievable quarterback that is going to help him in his career. I think Curtis Samuel is going to provide a lot to this offense. It may not be receiving numbers like 1,000 yards, but I think all-purpose yards, Curtis Samuel is going to really help this offense. He's going to be dynamic. I think Joe Brady's going to mix it up really, really well for Curtis Samuel. I think it's going to be an exciting year for this offense, but we need to get our guy in this draft. They need Brandon Beane needs to nail this draft. Like he really does. Like I said it before, man. I think this offseason is one of the most important off seasons to date. It's in the Beane era, McBean era. It really is. Like 2018 was so important because in 2018, because we all knew, like, okay, here we go. The quarterback, you know how it is. You got to draft a quarterback. And if Josh Allen didn't work out, oh man, like, dude, that would set us back, right? And so 2018 was really, really important for Brandon Beane, right? To nail that draft, get yourself that franchise quarterback, which he did, right? And he nailed a lot of picks in that draft, actually. But this season here was guys. We lost a lot of players on defense. We now lost our top receiver on offense. This draft here, boy, he has to nail, man. Anthony, right now, we'll see. It's going to be whoever we draft. That's a tough question. But if we were going into the season with no receivers drafted, which obviously it's not going to happen, I guess you would say Samuel. But that's not going to be the case. After this move today, I truly believe Brandon Beane is going to climb up in the first round and get himself a top 5 receiver coming out in this draft. And there you go. Look at the receivers that have gone, the top 5 receivers, last 5 years or so. You would take all of them, right? All of them. Jamar Chase, Jefferson. Come on now. Anything wrong with those guys? Those are all number ones. I'm sure I'm missing guys. I'm just trying to think of, the top guys right now that are on top of my head. But my point is there could be number 1 receivers that you can have day 1, week 1 from this draft, in my opinion. So let's see what happens. Bulls traded the pick that became Patrick Mahomes and Justin Jefferson. That's crazy. Yeah, It is what it is. It is what it. Listen, trades but we can go back, Philip, on every NFL roster and team that's made trades throughout the years, and same thing. We everybody can go look back and go, oh shit, man! Like if they didn't do this trade, they could have got. If they didn't take this player, they missed out on this player. Like we could do that story all day. But yeah, you're right. Like 2017, we traded our draft pick, and the Chiefs got Mahomes, and we got Trey. And now Trey's not even on the team. But Trey was a really solid player. It was 2017, man. Brandon Beane wasn't even in that draft yet. We didn't get Beane until after the draft. So that was really McDermott's draft. And of course, he went defense, of course. But no, I'm not mad. We got Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen's phenomenal. But obviously, Patrick Mahomes went on a team that was pretty much kind of built already. Perfect place for him, the landing spot. Perfect head coach, right? Offensive fucking minded head coach. That's a Hall of Fame head coach. Like, he went into the perfect situation. Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills team was starting from scratch. We had nothing. Matter of fact, we didn't even have an offensive line for him first year. We didn't have any receivers his first year in 2018. Like, nothing. That's why it was a brutal rookie year for Josh Allen. Tough. I mean, really, really tough. He had nobody to throw to. And then we started building around him in 2019 when we got Cole Beasley, John Brown. And then 2020, we got Stefon Diggs. And you saw how this team started to really become what it is, which is one of the best teams in football. Now, obviously not a Super Bowl team. We haven't done that yet. But I go back to Sean McDermott on that. And that's I talked all I can. I said all I could say about Sean McDermott leading this team to the Super Bowl. I just don't see it. Andrew, nothing wrong with the fresh start. We have Josh Allen. We good. Absolutely, and I agree with that. Anthony, so you think the draft is where we get our big receiver and not? Absolutely. Listen, one, we have no money to get a receiver. None. Zero. Like, you can't. And we're eating $30 million, right? We're eating 3, I think, this year and 27 next year off Stefon Diggs' contract. So we ain't signing no top receiver. None. None. Not this year, not next year. And there is no receiver out there right now. The only receiver out there right now that's not happy that you could trade for is T. Higgins. But if you trade for T. Higgins, you're going to give up maybe a first or a second. I don't know. And you're going to have to pay him. Where are you going to get that? I mean, I get you probably could figure it out. But I don't think they do that. I think they're going to use these draft picks and use them the right way, and that's to trade them. Trade the draft picks to move up and get your guy. That's it. It's really as simple as that. I mean, Brandon Beane, the movie made today, tells you everything you need to know right there. Shakir will be number 2. I don't know. I think Shakir is a solid player. I think he's getting better. I think he'll be your slot guy, but we'll see. But I do like him. He was our best yards after catch receiver last year. Dallas, are we eating his contract? Yes, we are. $30 million. We had no choice, man. To be honest with you, we had no choice. It is what it is. Lafayette, why AFC trade him to? Because he was the only. You know why? Because it was probably the only team offering us a second round pick. You want the truth? The truth is, other teams probably weren't willing to make a trade because they know what's going on with Stefon Diggs. They see their job is to, right? Just like when they draft players coming out in the draft to go, okay, what's this guy, what's this guy's character? Well, Stefon Diggs' character is not too good right now over the last 2 teams he's been on. And he's an aging receiver. So not a lot of teams were like, hey, I'm sure some teams are calling. We'll give you a 4th round. We'll give you a 3rd, 5th. 2nd round, I think Brandon Beane was like, fuck it, man. Fuck it. We're going to take the hit, but a 2nd round, not too fucking bad, man. You know what? I'd rather have that than a guy that is clearly not happy and doesn't want to be here. And, it's time to move on. And that listen, it's going to happen in football and any sport. It sucks. Of course it sucks. You pay your guy. You want him to be here. You want him to love the team. You want him to love the city. You want him to love his, the head coach, all that. But sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. And it didn't. And unfortunately, it didn't. Patrick Mahomes would have led success with the Bills, and Bills could not have predicted the Eagles not take. No, listen, we don't know. I am with you. I have no idea what if the Bills would have even drafted Justin Jefferson. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, if we could turn it back the hands of time, we know what we know now, like Justin Jefferson, obviously, right, we would have taken Justin Jefferson rather than trading for Stefon Diggs, but it is what it is. Listen, Stefon Diggs still gave us some good, solid years, but he also gave us headaches over the last two, so... Red, white, and Bills. Beans' worst move to date. Gave away 2 picks. Is still paying Diggs money for a future second. That's pitiful to think of. See, I disagree, man. I mean, I respect your opinion, and I told you guys, everyone's gonna have an opinion on this. And it's one of those things, right? Who won the trade? Why the Buffalo? Here's the deal, man. Not many teams are willing to give up a second round probably for Stefon Diggs, right? They probably were the only one. And do you really want a guy on your team that just doesn't want to be here, doesn't like to play for, clearly unhappy, having issues with head coach, or since probably the last 2 years, doesn't show up for the playoffs? Like, I'm good, man. Like, bro, the time. It was time. And I know it sucks, right? I get it. But that's the way it works sometimes, man. That's the way it works, man. You take a game. Listen, man, you take a gamble when you give these players money. When you give these players big contracts, that they're going to live up to the contract. 2, they're not going to get hurt. Von Miller. Right? And 3, they're not going to be a problem off the field, no off-field issues. Like, there's always a gamble when you play these guys, right? When you draft them, if they don't work out, okay, it sucks, yeah, right? But you're not really losing that much. You lost your pick, okay. But this is what happens. You gotta pay these players, and some of them show up, some of them don't, man. And when they don't, you gotta eat it. And yeah, we're eating the $30 million, man, but it is what it is. Why not just keep him, draft his replacement, and draft and trade Diggs next year for a third? Because they didn't want to deal with him, bro. They didn't want to deal with him no more. They did not want to deal with him no more. The end of the day, Stefon Diggs forced Brandon Beane's hand. If you don't believe it, then I don't know what to tell you anymore. Like, Stefon Diggs was starting to become a problem. And he was starting to become a locker room problem. Like, come on, man. Like, I told you earlier, you probably won't watch it, but I feel like all the Buffalo Bills players, all the Bills players are all in. Like a family, right? Like, they're all together, right? Like I always told you guys, like a chain, right? And all the links need to be connected, right? For the wheel to move, right? And I feel like Stefon Diggs was over in the corner when all the rest of the team was just linked together, and you got Stefon Diggs way in the fucking corner, just sitting there. All right, let's go. Let's go play football. Like, the love, the passion was gone, man. You saw it in the playoffs, man. He just didn't care. He dropped any player go back to Stevie Johnson, who dropped a pass to get us in against Pittsburgh that would have won us the game. He took that shit so personal. He took that shit to the heart, man. That dude was so upset. When players care, when players love their teammates, they love their team, they take plays like that super hard, man. Stefon Diggs didn't give 2 fucks that he dropped that pass. Could care less. And that's because he didn't give a fuck about this team anymore. Could care less. Okay, it's over. I'm going home. I don't want a guy like that. I don't want a guy like that. You know what Stefon Diggs wanted? The one that in 2020 was standing there, clearly upset, showing his emotions, wanting to win for Buffalo. That's the Stefon Diggs we all respect and we love. Not the Stefon Diggs in 2022. Not the Stefon Diggs in 2023. The guy showing up as quarterback on the sideline. You want that guy back? Like, bro, come on, man. Stop. And really, once again, he's aging receiver. What did he do in the playoffs? I'm good with it, man. I'm good with the drama. I'm glad the drama is over with. Sick and tired of hearing Diggs. Thank you. Me too. Like, you don't think, if we're sick of it, you don't think Josh Allen's sick of it? You don't think Sean McDermott's sick of it? You don't think his teammates are sick of it? Of course they are. They don't want to hear that shit. You don't want to be here. Go. Get the fuck out, man. And that's exactly what happened. For me, it's just eating them up. Yeah, but I get it, Sean. But that's the chance you take when you sign big-time players. Sometimes shit just doesn't work out, right? Sometimes it doesn't work in your favor. This time it didn't. I'll be honest with you. The trade worked out great in the beginning when we traded for Stefon Diggs. None of us can deny that. 2020, 2021, right? It's a total different player. Totally different guy. Go back, guys. I'm telling you. Look at Stefon Diggs' demeanor. Man, dude was happy, loving it. Fucking him and Josh Allen fucking kicking it on the sideline. Handshakes, practice. Everything was great and fun. Everything. And then, boy, here comes the end of 2022, boy. Everything has changed. Here he comes. Here comes the Minnesota Stefon Diggs that everybody warned us about. And he didn't let it go. He didn't let it go in 2022. The offseason was a nightmare, right? Total fucking nightmare. In 2023, right? Just as bad. Just as bad. Where was Stefon Diggs' second half of the season? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. You know why? Because we got another coordinator who just didn't please Stefon Diggs. Throw it to Stefon Diggs and, the whole game. Maybe we got to make this an offense that Josh Allen could start going to this guy, working around the field, right? Other options. His numbers went down and he started to pout. But he had his moment to shine and didn't. Had his moments and he never came up clutch. Never. Name a game. Name a game at the end of the name a playoff game where he came up clutch. I don't remember one. I'm stitching Fitzmagic on my Diggs jersey. Yeah, absolutely. I think he is, but I think he's slowly creeping out of it. How about that? I think the offense can now play freely and not have to worry. Yes, to force plays over to Diggs. Exactly what I was just talking about. As a Bengals fan, I've watched your content before and enjoy your takes. I can honestly say you guys won this trade. Okay, it sucks right now, but there are plenty of good receivers in the draft. I agree. I don't know if there's a winner in this trade, but I feel like it just had to be done. I don't think it's a loser. I don't think it's a winner. I think Texans fans will think they won, and that's cool. And listen, if I'm a Texans fan, I'm happy, but I'm worried at the same time. Right? I'm saying, okay, like when things don't go right, what Diggs are we going to get? Oh, shit. Are we going to get that Diggs in 2023? The end of 2022, 2023 season? Are we going to get that guy? Ah, shit, man. Are we going to get the guy, hitting up Twitter, talking, that he would love to go play for the fucking Cowboys again? Like, are we going to get that guy? Are we going to get the guy that's going to be in CJ Stroud's face when things aren't happy, throwing his hands up, making a big scene? He ain't going to change. That's his personality. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I don't think it's a winner or loser here. I think it's just something that had to be done. for the Buffalo Bills, and I think the Texans said we'll roll the dice. That's it. We'll roll the dice with the second round pick for a guy that's a top 10 receiver. And we'll roll the dice that he's not going to freak out when things don't go his way, right? When things aren't going so smooth in Houston. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not always going to be a smooth road over there. They got a young head coach. They got a young quarterback, right? They got a talent. There's players on there. They got a talented team. Don't get me wrong. But they're still very, very young. Mistakes are going to happen. So how will Stefon Diggs react to those mistakes when things aren't going well? With a young coach, a young team. Buffalo, when things weren't going well, they had a veteran team. They had guys that could rally when things aren't going well, right? They had a veteran head coach who's been there, done that. Even though I'm not a big Sean McDermott fan, he's been down that road before, and he's rallied the troops. Josh Allen's a veteran quarterback now, right? You had veteran players all over the team, on defense, on offense. Houston's a very, very young team. Things aren't going to always go smooth. Now Stefon Diggs is the veteran on the team. How will he handle it? I don't think he'll handle it good because he hasn't shown he can. And that's the part, if you're a GM, you're a little concerned. You're a little worried. So, I mean, like I said, man, I don't think there's a winner or loser. I just think it just had to be done. I am shocked. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I saw this trade coming. No, I did not. I did not see that. I thought, honestly, that we would have probably winded up cutting him next year or trading him next year after the 2024 season. But I just think, like I said earlier, man, I think Brandon Beane couldn't go another year with Stefon Diggs and his antics and the way he's been treating his teammates. And listen, Josh Allen and everybody else, you know, I mean, at least I can speak for Josh Allen. He's not going to say a bad thing about Stefon Diggs. I'm not going to say one bad thing about him. So we will never know the true relationship they had at the end. But I can tell you, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. You know, if it was good, Stefon Diggs would have no problem saying, you know, Josh Allen's my dude, my guy, my quarterback. I love that dude. He just kept quiet. You know, sometimes, you know, no words speaks volumes, right? When you say nothing, it's kind of even worse, right? it tells a lot. And I just felt like Stefon Diggs, man, like, why you can't say that when someone's asked, and regardless if you're upset about how many times you've been asked how you feel about playing for the Bills, how do you like, you know, you and Josh Allen good, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Wow, you can't say we're good, love that dude. Like, Josh Allen does it all the time. You can't do it. Does that really affect your day? Like, by saying that? Like, I don't that's the part I just didn't understand with him. And it's because he didn't give a fuck anymore. Right? He just didn't give a fuck. Anthony. So there was obviously some truth to what the reporter said about him on the hot mic. Yeah, though she should have probably been careful. And by the way, she will be more careful moving forward. But yeah, I believe there's a lot of truth to that. I believe every cryptic message he sent out was there was reason behind it. I don't think it was just trolling, and clearly it wasn't. Right? The Bills weren't just going to eat $30 million for shits and giggles. Clearly, this guy was starting to become a problem. Brandon Beane saw it just like I saw it, which is he ain't happy. He's having problems with the coach. He's showing up our quarterback on the sideline. He's leaving after playoff losses. He's leaving his teammates behind to take the fall, pretty much, answer all the questions. Is that a true leader? Is that a captain? By the way, he's a captain. Captain of your team, not being there with his teammates after a tough loss. is no captain. Y'all could say differently, but I'm just telling you how I feel. That ain't a captain. That's not a leader, right? That'd be like Josh Allen doing that, right? Josh Allen like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Y'all can fucking answer the questions. He will never do that. He's a leader. He's going to take the hard questions. He's going to take the criticism when shit don't go right. Stefon Diggs don't want to hear it. Why? Because he feels like it's not his fault. He's the best on the field, and whatever the fuck he feels like. But I don't know. It had to be done, guys. It had to be done. I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's over with. Will this happen again? Of course it will. Of course it will. Listen, pro sports, guys. These guys are making millions. There's a lot of egos involved. A lot of egos, right? And this is going to happen to other teams. It's happened in the past. It's going to it's going to happen again. It's going to happen in the future. Like, that will never stop. There's always going to be those players out there that just, whatever you do, they can't be pleased, or they're drama queens, or they're causing a, stir in the locker room. Like, it's how it works, man. Right. And unfortunately, it happened to us this time around. But yeah, let the Texans have fun with that. And you're right, Dennis. Let the Texans have that. And if you're a Texans fan watching this, because I'm sure I'm going to have some Texans fans tuning in later or whatever, maybe right now. I'm not hating on you guys or hating on the trade or hating on Diggs' talent, like what he could produce. I think Diggs is going to be a 1,000-yard receiver for you guys. I think he's going to be, one of your number one target moving forward, at least this first season, even though you got a good receiving corp over there. But when things don't go right is what you should be concerned about. When things aren't going so smoothly. That's the part where you need to worry about. And, I honestly, like I said, I wasn't too concerned when we first got him, right? Because I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I don't give a fuck where you came from, what they said about you. We've seen this before where a player was talked badly and they went somewhere else and they were the total opposite. They were great teammates, all that stuff. And I wanted to believe that because I thought the first two seasons in 2020 and 2021, Stefon Diggs was a great teammate. And he loved Buffalo. He loved everything. Like, he loved the coach. Like, everything was going smooth until it wasn't. And then you saw what Minnesota fans were talking about. But it is what it is. So I can only tell you, Houston fans, that, I wish you the best when it comes to Stefon Diggs, and I hope things go smoothly for you, man. I feel like we will trade up in the first round, pick 11 through 16, draft receiver. I think so too, Chris. I just cannot see a reason why Brandon Beane won't trade up. With the amount of draft picks he has acquired, there is no reason why he should not trade up. You have enough draft capital to work with. There's no excuse not to make that happen. He made it happen in 2018 when we acquired Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds. He's made it multiple times. He made it for Dalton Kincaid. Now, the Dalton Kincaid was only a couple draft spots up, but it still goes to show you that Brandon Beane is not afraid of trading up. But this is going to be a 2018 situation all over again. We need a number one now, right? Fuck the number two. I know you guys are like, oh, it's going to be number two. We need a number one right now. We'll worry about the number two when that time comes. And maybe we find the number two in this draft again. Who's to say we don't draft 2 receivers early? You don't know that. Imagine, right? Imagine we get Brian Thompson, we get Keon Coleman right after. Just throwing that out there. Can you imagine? Bro, and you got Curtis Samuel, and you got Khalil Shakir, and you got Dalton Kincaid, who's like a hybrid anyways, tight end / receiver, right? Now you're not so upset about this offense. Now you're going, it's a deadly fucking offense. I still think we need a solid number 2 running back. I don't like James Cook as our primary running back. I think he's our number 1. Don't get me wrong, but I think this offense works better as like a 2-headed monster at running back, and we need to find that other guy. And I hope it's in the draft. I got to look at the running backs. I'm not like totally crazy about them, but we need a bigger back. We definitely need a big back. And if it's not through the draft, go on and get like Ezekiel Elliott just for 1 season, and maybe the following draft you get yourself a running back that could complement James Cook. Because James Cook's, I'm telling you guys, he has some issues. Pass protection. He's not a bigger back, so he doesn't get those tough yards, those short yards. Diggs asked for this. We need numbers. Yeah, I agree. It's a second round pick next year. Yeah, I know that, Kevin. But that doesn't mean you can't use that draft capital, that second round in 2025, and use that as trade bait. You could use that. Of course you can. The Buffalo Bills could trade a 2026 draft pick if they wanted to. So, yeah, I could definitely see them using next year's second round that they're getting and use it as a trade package for this year to move up. Absolutely. Yeah, so I could definitely see that happen. James Cook needs to get to the gym. Yeah, his lower body, super small. He's a thin in the lower body. That's his problem. Sorry if I'm missing something. Elliott is still out there in free agency. Yeah, Chris. So if we don't get one in the draft, I would be good with a 1-year contract, and then you draft yourself a running back in the following in 2025. I have no problem with that. Shakir and Kincaid are excellent. Yeah, they're only going to get better. I don't know if they're excellent. Not right now. Like Shakir is on the rise, and Kincaid could be I think Kincaid could be one of the better tight ends in the NFL. But I would say look for that to happen in like year 3 of Kincaid. I think Shakir, I don't know if he'll ever achieve greatness, but I could definitely see him being a good receiver in the NFL. Like a 500-yard type receiver, 500 to 700, somewhere around there, and I would be totally happy with that. But I don't know about excellent. Go draft Brilliant Allen. But what I say, we need a soft rebuild. This era is over with players. It's Josh teams now. Yeah. It's a soft rebuild. It is kind of a soft rebuild in a way. You're right. Like our defense aged out, man. And Poyer's gone. I think Hyde won't come back, guys. I know Brandon Bean hinted at Hyde possibly returning, but even if he did, it would be a 1-year deal. And I like Hyde, but he's not what he once was. This defense aged out, man. And now it's time for them to rebuild the defense in a way, right? They're starting to, you see our safeties are gone now. Rapp is a younger safety. He's been in the league a little bit, but not crazy. 3-4 years, something like that. And now they're going to have to draft a safety next to him. We still need an edge to replace Von Miller when he leaves. And who knows what we get out of Von Miller this year anyways. AJ Epinesa is a nice player, but I don't think he's a starting edge, right? I think he's a good rotation guy. So we still need that. We got a young Ed Oliver still, so that's good. But we still need defensive tackle help. So yeah, there's a soft rebuild on defense. And now on offense, if you look at our offense, other than Josh, kind of young. I mean, Curtis Samuel's been around a little bit, but nothing crazy. Hasn't been in the league that long. You got Shakir, who's been in the league a couple seasons. Dalton Kincaid's going into year 2, right? Dawson Knox, year 5 for him. So yeah, I mean, we got some young guys on this team, no doubt about it. So we are but that's how the NFL works. We didn't get it done, we haven't achieved our goal yet. And unfortunately, it's been since 2017. So players age out. You got to kind of go through this cycle of drafting new players, bringing new players in. We ran it back. We ran it back as much as we could until we couldn't. You get what I'm saying, guys? Like, I think last year was our last run back that we could do with that team. We still have obviously some players returning, right? Deion Dawkins, Josh Allen, obviously. Like, we still have some key players that are still on this roster since the 2017-2018 year, but a lot of the guys have departed. And it makes sense. Yep, Thomas Jr. Yeah, I like Thomas Jr. a lot, man. A better run game is crucial for a deep playoff run. I agree. But that's why I really feel like this team is built to have like a two-headed monster instead of just James Cook as the number one, and he's taking a 3-down back. He's not a 3-down back. He's just not. Curtis Samuel was brought in to replace Diggs because Joe Brady has strong ties to Curtis Samuel. Samuel is quick. Listen, no doubt about it. They have ties. I like Curtis Samuel. I think Curtis Samuel is going to be over 1,000 yards, all-purpose yards, no doubt about it. But he is not here to replace Diggs. He is not the number one. I think he is going to be used a lot on this offense. He's going to be like our Deebo Samuel is for the 49ers, right? The only thing is he's not as strong as Deebo Samuel, right? But he could do a lot of things that Deebo does for the 49ers, which we haven't had here in Buffalo in a long time. And that's great. I love it. But he's not a number one receiver. They have to find that in the draft. And this is the draft to do it. There's some solid receivers coming out. But Bean has to trade up to make that happen. And I believe he will. I really believe he will. Listen, man, if we don't draft a receiver in round one, he doesn't trade up to get that receiver, then yeah, I mean, there's a little concern going into 2024 about our receiving core, right? Like, then you can go, okay, I don't know, man. Curtis Samuel number one, right? Then you can start getting a little worried about that. But right now, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Let's see here. Yeah, Knox is, if you want to talk about another bad, in my opinion, bad contract extension, bad contract, it would be Dawson Knox. I love the dude. Like, he's a good person, man. Like, I love his story, like his family, like everything about Dawson Knox is what you want, on your team as far as like character goes, right? Like, just a good dude, good family. But producing on the field is another thing. Just doesn't do it. He just doesn't produce enough, to make up for that contract, right? $14 million a year is a lot of money for a guy that's not producing. And I really felt like when they gave him that extension, it was, I believe, what season was that? Was that the 2021 season, right? Am I mistaken, guys? Or was that that was the 2022 season? It was going into the 2022 season. Yeah, it was going into the 2022 season. That was the off season where everything went wrong. And I know you guys remember, and I trip down memory lane, but that was the shooting that happened in Buffalo. Dawson Knox's brother passed away in college. Remember that? And just a lot was going on. And I feel like when Dawson Knox's brother passed away too, a lot going on with Dawson Knox. I just kind of feel like Brandon Beane maybe rushed the gun there a little bit. And signed Dawson Knox that extension kind of to just, I don't know if it's put him in a better place. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but I just felt like he was doing that out of respect for Knox. And he did have a good season in 2021, but I think maybe he rushed that contract and to maybe, get his mind off that, his brother. I could be totally wrong here, by the way, totally wrong. But I think that contract is going to hurt us. Like that it did hurt us. Like I don't think Dawson Knox will ever live up to that contract. Okay. I hope I'm wrong, by the way, but I just, I don't think so. I think Dawson Knox is exactly who he is. Damar Hamlin. I think Damar Hamlin is, I think he's on the bubble, guy. I know a lot of people think like Damar Hamlin's going to be like our future safety or something. Like, he was on the bubble last year, guys. And he was, okay? If you remember, a lot of people were like, is Damar Hamlin going to make the team? And when he did, everyone's like, oh, like, you remember all the media was like, good for Damar. Like, clearly he was on the bubble. Because if he wasn't, nobody would be like, oh, I can't believe Damar Hamlin made the roster. He made the roster, guys, because it would be a terrible move by the Buffalo Bills if they released him last year. It would be a nightmare, PR nightmare. They had to keep him. And now this is a new year, right? You can only have 53. It's just, I don't know. He's, when he did play last year, thought he did pretty good at special teams, but, you can't just keep a player because, of certain situations that happen. Last year, I understand, but I just don't, I don't know, man. I just don't know if Damar's that guy, and I don't think it's fair to keep a player around just because of something that happened like that. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I like Knox, but the extension paid him like a top 7 tight end. He hasn't lived up to that. Not close. No, he's not even close. And I think Dawson Knox is exactly what you see is what you get. Like he's his hands drop percentage is not very good. He has a good relationship with Josh. That I love. He's a good blocking tight end. I like that, right? Because obviously Dalton Kincaid, that's where he struggles. But other than that, route running is okay. His hands aren't the best, like I said earlier. He's definitely not worth what we're paying him. It's not. When he was out, injured, and Kincaid was the number 1, look how much better the offense looked, right? Look how the offense just flowed better. We'll see what happens this season because now we got Joe Brady. It'll be his playbook. He has a whole offseason to figure out Kincaid and Knox on the field, right? What each are going to do for the offense. But I can tell you, if like Knox winds up just being this blocking tight end, then yeah, we way overpaid. And I believe that's exactly what's going to happen. But you can't get them all right, guys. Right? You're not going to nail every signing, every draft pick, every extension. Like there's going to be mistakes made. It's the NFL. It's sports. But anyways, yeah, guys. So I'm going to get out of here, man. Been on here for an hour and a half. Yeah, a little in shock. Did not see this coming, but it was something that had to be done. I don't blame Brandon Beane at all. I don't blame him at all for giving him that money when Diggs, wanted that extension. Like at the time, I think all of us were on board with Stefon Diggs getting paid. Nobody can sit back and go, nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw Stefon Diggs character, the way he turned on this team. Nobody saw that coming. If we did, obviously, Brandon Beane would have never gave him an extension. He would have shipped him off right away once all this bullshit started. But nobody saw this coming. It is what it is. And, peace out. Yeah, hey, later, Chris. I appreciate you, man. I feel better now. There you go. It's always about feeling better. So anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate all y'all watching. Tune in tonight. Mafia Talk is going live. So I thought they weren't. Now they are. 10 p.m. They're going to dive more into the Stefon Diggs trade. And, they'll give you their thoughts. on it. Y'all heard my thoughts today. I'm good with it. I thought getting a second round pick was fair. I didn't think anybody else was going to give us a second round, so it is what it is, guys. So listen, man, we'll get our receiver in the draft. I really truly believe that. I appreciate you guys sticking around, watching, and as always, go Bills, Bills Mafia. I love you. I'm out of here. Peace. And I gotta find that outro. Where's that outro? Where is that outro? Oh yeah, you know what? One more thing. Stefon Diggs. Good luck to you, buddy. I have no ill will about you, man. I don't wish anything bad for you. But Texans fans, get ready. The show's coming to town. Later, man.